Welcome to 2026 and the first BTO talk on digital leadership, digital transformation, and more. And I'm here with my two partners. My name is Michael Alf, calling from Lisbon, where it's actually cloudy and gray. So I hand over directly to Rob, and I hope you have a little bit better weather.
Well, actually, no, not in terms of the weather. We've got a massive storm coming through at the moment. Rob Thurner here in London, working with Cambridge Judge Business School on their digital transformation, digital disruption program, and with clients in this part of the world and also extensively in the Middle East. So looking forward to our session today, and welcome to 2026. Over to you, Markus.
Thank you very much, guys. Markus Keiper, professor at the National University in Singapore. And unlike you guys, we have beautiful weather here. Why don't you come here? Very much looking forward to 2026. But Michael, you have something to share with our audience. How was it for you to detox for 10 days?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually did detox, and it feels like you are missing out on so much. But somehow it does work. I mean, it's one of the things why you have us. Yeah, so we try to bring you, of course, the latest and most important and most relevant news. Not everything, we filter that. And so I was catching up and was looking at what we can expect from 2026. Again, there will be a lot. When you look at from January 26 compared to January 25, it's a huge jump in many, many areas, especially all the models, what they can do. And we can expect some additional progress, but it's probably slowing down on the large language model side. Therefore, we have a couple of other trends, which I briefly want to mention. One is more optimization in terms of kind of how these models are built, not less the compute power, the architecture, which is very powerful, and we spoke about that before. The other one is small language models and device models. And related to that, the combination of physical and AI, which is a big one as well. So the intelligent robots, basically that is a robot which has an LLM, or a small language model integrated. And this will be very interesting. You see some of that on the CES in Las Vegas at the moment. This will come massively. We will see a lot in this direction, and we'll need to learn kind of what that means actually for our work and how we approach that. And this is exactly what we were talking about. And I think that leads nicely into actually probably a key term. And Rob, maybe you want to talk a little bit about that. When you think about all these elements and entities you have, well, then kind of the question becomes, well, how do you bring everyone together? And what's a nice metaphor of bringing together, Rob?
Yeah, well, it's clearly a case that the organization itself needs to be much more collaborative, removing the silos which beset so many businesses, but also this hierarchical structure. And rather than having a top-down way of working, or indeed a bottom-up, we need to combine the two. And this concept of bringing together orchestration is a term that we're going to be using a lot as we go through 2026 in the concept of this new hybrid leadership model, orchestration. So this means that the business and the business needs to come first. That then determines how we're using AI, how we're bringing AI into the business, which then unlocks the potential of our IT teams, our data scientists. But unless we are orchestrating and we consider there's a conductor of our AI transformation, then we're stuck in an old way of working, an old way of thinking, which simply is not fit for purpose. So orchestration. Now, Markus, when we consider this term, I've given the conductor and the orchestra. How do we bring together the different areas, the different, we've got the woodwind, we've got the brass, we've got the percussion. How does it actually come together on a practical level?
Studied the wrong subject here. Music was certainly not amongst them. But as a listener, of course, I understand your metaphor very nicely. Let me share with you as an audience what actually Rob and I did during our Christmas break. We actually attended a seminar in building agents and how to use agents with a very fast growing community called Mind Studio. Michael is fully certified in this, and the two of us are getting to know what it means. I think one thing took away from this online seminar, which was incredibly inspiring, was that we will have a lot of agents to work with in the future. And we as leaders not only need to understand what agents are, we need to be able to work with them and then explain and communicate this, and that is the conductor, Rob, to our musicians, which is our organization, which might be business units or CXOs or team members, why we are using AI, Gen AI now, and what it means to the organization, what are the benefits in productivity, efficiency, and when should we not use AI and Gen AI. All of this you will learn from us in the next 12 months as we are looking at the market. We are your eyes and ears in the market. As Michael said, we will select what seems to be super important, and we will not talk about all of the noise around it. And by the way, Michael, I believe the noise will only get more, right? Just like in my background here.
Yes, indeed. No, I think you have a real noise. Yeah, I think one of the big challenges indeed is that the amount of content is increasing, yeah, at an exponential rate, yeah, because it's largely AI generated, and you have a certain quality. I mean, at least the reading is good, but the question is kind of what's the depth of that, and what is really relevant. And I think from what I'm seeing in my work, it becomes more and more important that you really blend your expertise, your true expertise, with the support of AI. And this really propels you forward in an incredible way. If you don't do that, it feels and it is quite generic. Yeah, even if it sounds good, it actually remains very, very generic, because you need to be able to question everything which comes out of the AI, which doesn't mean that everything is wrong. It's more like, well, you need to question that. You need to kind of question the flow. You need to question kind of the messaging. You need to question the storyline. And at the same time, be open to really embrace kind of the value add you get from the AI. And I hope kind of that makes sense. And one of the things we definitely want to do this year is run a few webinars, not too many, where we really go deep, and we'll invite you, of course, where we can interact a lot more, ask questions, and show you actually things like the Mind Studio, like kind of how we operate, how we prompt, how we do certain things, and so on. So I think that's one thing. Rob, anything to add, or kind of on that side, what we want to do kind of in 26? And maybe a brief look into Doha as well, if someone is actually in Doha.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a very, very full year. I think we're looking to develop this hybrid leadership concept and share that with you as it unlocks. We will be launching a summary of the concept when we visit the Web Summit in Doha at the end of this month. And as you say, there are going to be some more practical demonstrations of how we're working with Mind Studio and with other tools to develop agents, why, how, and what we're able to deliver. And we would love to bring you in on that journey. So watch out for the invitations as we launch these during the year, and let's make this as collaborative as an experience as we can. Markus, any closing words from you in terms of your commitments? And I'm looking forward to teaming up when we get together in Doha. Is there anything in your view that we need to focus on, any particular topics?
Absolutely. It's the classic New Year's Eve conversation we all had. People ask you, so what's your New Year resolution, Markus? Or did you stop having one? Because we are looking so old, probably. And my answer last year / this year was AI. I said, oh yeah, we know you are full on AI. I said, no. AI for me stands for all in. All in. But of course, all in with AI. So looking forward to sharing our journey with you this year. And yes, Doha, if you happen to be there, let us know. We are there from February 1 to February 4 at the Web Summit, which is the largest AI event in this part of the world. in the Middle East and Asia Pacific. Looking forward to seeing you there and see you next week again. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Nice.